What's up, everybody? Sunday Sessions, episode 40, here to deliver a ton of insights on how to scale out your e-commerce business. My name is Rick Castellano. Welcome to the channel. Super excited to have you here and learn more about your businesses and guide you on the journey to success while building out your e-commerce storefront. So excited to have you here. In the chat, let me know where you're from. I'm out here in the Northeast of the United States, a couple minutes out of New York City. And I love Sundays kicking it with y'all. You know, I try to go live every Sunday and provide tons of insight. So excited to have you here. Happy Sunday, Jana. How Amazon CA market. Amazon CA is good. It's about 10% smaller than the US market, but there's still a lot of opportunities, especially if you live there. It's a great place to get started. And Jana, I apologize. You know, I know the walkthrough sold out. And we will have another one at Expo West about 2 weeks after ASD. Fort Lauderdale, what's up, Krista Taylor Shop? How you doing, Krista? Nice to see you. ASD first time this year from West Texas. Nice. We'll see you in Vegas in a couple weeks. Excited to be out there. Northwest Ohio. You're in a great hub for transportation. Happy Sunday, Brody. San Diego. Got people all over. So hit me with them. All right. I'm here to provide y'all value. Ethan, what's up, brother? I love the idea of your course, but I think in the UK wholesalers are crap. Listen, that's not true. I got a couple dozen UK sellers in my course. Some of them are doing upwards of $500,000 a month in the UK. So there's opportunity there. It's just a matter of sorting through the data. Indiana in the house. And leveraging those opportunities, right? If you want the full user experience, we're live on YouTube as well, so you can pop it up on the big screen. And we'd love to provide some insight. Coral Springs, what's up? What's up? So talk to me. What's everybody got going on? So I'm hanging out at the crib, Venezuela and Miami in the house. That's what's up, Daisy. I'm at the crib. I just had a couple calls with some Amazon sellers. They went amazing. I've learned a lot about their businesses, which I love doing. And then in about an hour or so, I'm going to go down to my parents. I still haven't had Christmas with them yet, right? I haven't spent the day with them for Christmas. I was in Texas during the holidays, and then I got COVID, and then I had some responsibilities I had to take care of. So I've seen them since, but we haven't had like the full holiday experience. So I got them some kilos of silver that's their Christmas present, but shh, don't tell them. I'm going to give them some kilos of silver, which I'm super excited about. My mom's always sending me these links to like buy silver, she's always telling me buy precious metals. So the other day I bought a bunch of kilo bars of silver as well as some gold. And I'm going to give them some kilo bars for Christmas. Hub for transportation, Northwest Ohio. What you mean? Yeah, Ohio's a great, like there's a lot of, you get access to a lot of roads out there. So it's a great essentially like a trans dock, right? There's always trucks crossing, coming in. So you're in a great place to open wholesale accounts because a lot of companies will ship there. Unlike if you're like in upstate or Washington State, or you're like in the Panhandle all the way down in Florida, like shipping can get rather expensive there. Do you consider selling products where the rank is more than 100,000? Absolutely. We sell products where the rank is more than 100,000. And usually it's because the profit is much higher. And then what you could do is essentially do a price drop. So let's say average selling price for a product rank 200K is $30. Right? But you're making $9 in profit. You know, obviously a 200,000 ranked product isn't going to sell as much inventory, but with $9 in profit margins, you're able to make a price drop of $4 to $5, bring it down to, you know, $24.99, $25.99. So it becomes more friendly price to the consumer, and then you're able to capitalize on more sales because giving that $5 price drop, which is about an 18% discount from its average listed price, you'll be able to gain more traction on that listing and get that listing closer to, you know, 80 to 100,000, which will essentially increase its volume, allowing more opportunity for you. What's up, Abdul? How are you, man? Yeah, I'll be in Miami for the event. So it's not my event. I'm invited as a speaker. So I don't have any solutions or answers to any questions about the event. I'm just coming down there to speak. Sebastian will be there as well. He's bringing his family. We got a whole Airbnb, going to make a weekend out of it. So I'm super excited. So this is travel I got. I got Miami on the 17th, 18th, 19th. I get back on the 19th. On the 22nd, I go to Las Vegas for 10 days for ASD and BGHL. And then I come back to the Jers. And then about 2 weeks later, I go out to Expo West for in Anaheim for another trade show. So there's a lot going on in the Amazon industry, and I think all of you should be a part of it, right? Especially if you're financially situated to do so. Awesome, Wasim. I love it. Or listen, Oregon's it's up there. It's up there. So cost of shipping will be, pretty high, depending on where it's coming from, though. If you're getting products from California, then cost of shipping will be great. But if you're getting products from Virginia, which is essentially diagonally across the whole country, then yeah, cost of shipping can be rather high. Also, I think the Miami event sold out. I think there's a waiting list. How much does it cost for Amazon to prep your stuff, and how do you find the address where you can ship it directly from your suppliers? I'm not sure what Amazon charges per label now. I think it's like between 35 and 55 cents, but you got to keep in mind, it's been a while since I used prep services for Amazon, but you got to keep in mind that they will not do any bundles or multi-packs. So you'd have to use a prep center or get the inventory shipped to yourself to get those products processed appropriately. And then as far as finding the ship to address, you would have to put in a shipment. So you'd simply go to manage inventory. On the left, you'd select the check boxes. You'd select the drop down, send replenish inventory. You'd fill out the information, and at the end of it, it will give you an Amazon address where your shipment is going to. You would then share that address, the ship to address, with your supplier, and your supplier will know where to send the inventory to. Philly, what's up? In UK, 4.5 million in sales. Yeah, D Moulton's crushing it over in the UK. I love to see that. And let me see. And he's a member of EsellersRI, so it's not surprising that he's crushing it. He's been in the community for 6 months now. So congratulations, Dennis. I'm excited for your growth, man. That's phenomenal. What's good, Eric? Appreciate you. Pumped to see you in Vegas in a couple of weeks. Absolutely. Matt, excited to see you as well, man. We had a great talk last time at ASD in August, so I'm excited to see you there again. It's going to be cool. And hopefully I'll see you at BGHL as well. I don't know if you got your tickets yet, but I think there's definitely less than 20. It's like 17 tickets left. So if you're going to be in Vegas, you got to be at BGHL. Daisy said, I'm just transitioning from retail to wholesale and looking for now local suppliers. It's a good idea to start just local to learn the process and relationship with the distributors. Absolutely, it's great to start local, especially if you're smaller, because you can't really eat some of the shipping fees that you may incur from getting products, from states and states away. So it's definitely encouraged to start locally. You can build those relationships, but also depending on where you are in the country, there may not be local opportunities, especially if you're some rural area in the Midwest. You don't have any large cities near you. Probably you won't have any large wholesalers near you, but there's still a ton of opportunities. So I always encourage you to start locally in your city and then expand to your state and then expand to your region and then expand nationally. That's the name of the game. What advice would you give for first-time ASD visit? How should I approach those suppliers? So I just posted a Instagram video a couple days ago. First, you want to jump on asdonline.com, research the vendors that are going to be there, right? Especially vendors that are in your area, because like we just discussed a couple minutes ago, proximity is power. There's power in proximity, right? So you don't want to go researching companies in Washington if you're in Florida. Like I said before, it doesn't make logical or logistic sense. So first you want to pop in, set up a game plan for yourself. Emery, I believe you're in EsellersRI as well, so I hope you register for the walkthrough. If not, it's unfortunately sold out. But you want to research these companies on your own and set yourself a game plan. Like companies you definitely need to talk to. Non-negotiable, you have to go speak with those companies. Reaching out to them now, asking for catalogs, letting them know you're going to be at ASD to kind of harvest that relationship. And then you want to go to the trade show, A, with comfortable shoes, B, with at least 100 business cards. C, with some breath mints because your breath's going to be stanking and you're going to be in close proximity to these vendors talking because it's very loud in there. C, stay hydrated, get a good night's rest, and get ready to be uncomfortable. You know, a lot of the process of trade shows, for me at least, is uncomfortability. You know, I come off as very personal, and I am very personal. Thanks for my mom for giving me that trait. But sometimes I just don't want to talk to anybody and I just want to stay in my shell, you know, and at a trade show that doesn't serve you. That doesn't benefit you. So sometimes what I'll do when I'm feeling that coming on, which you'll know, right? Because you'll go down an entire aisle and you won't talk to anybody. And in your head, it'll be saying there's no opportunities here. You know, I don't need to talk to these companies. I found one or two already, right? But really that's just your mind trying to prevent you from growing. So what I'll usually do at that point is I'll step outside and I'll just amp myself up a little bit, right? Or I'll find a buddy. You got to find a buddy. Having a trade show buddy is massive. And because so many Amazon sellers go to ASD and we got so many people on our trade show walkthrough that are going to BGHL as well, there's really no excuse where you can't find a new buddy to walk the show floor with. So if one of you aren't feeling the level of motivation you need to have in order to thrive at the event, the other one could pump you up. You know, that's what it's all about. Awesome, Glenn. I'll see you during our call on Thursday, man. I'm excited for it. How many staff do you employ on the non-warehouse side? Non-warehouse side, where we got 5 buyers, some developers, it's like 10, some management, it's probably another 5. So like 15 non-warehouse, in-house, non-warehouse, and then we have probably another 7 to 10 virtual assistants that work for us as well. I've been selling on a listing for a while, and from one day to the next, I'm no longer eligible to be the featured offer, even though I have the cheapest price and fastest shipping account. Health is good. So you can run some ads to it. You know, obviously for your ads to run, you have to be buy box eligible, or you have to be in the buy box or your ads won't run at all. So Amazon likes to throttle certain listings based on a few metrics. One is fulfillment method. 2 is where the inventory is shipping from. So what fulfillment center your inventory is. 3 is price point. 4 is historical listing history. So if you've been selling on the listing for only 2 weeks and there's been a seller on there for 4 years or 2 years, that seller is going to get priority in the buy box. But Jack, what I would encourage you to do is pop up Keepa and dive into your buy box statistics, because that will really tell you, you know, what sellers are dominating the buy box. And then you can analyze those metrics and make better pricing decisions. And sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to go lower, right? You just have to go lower. Another great thing to do is add a coupon. The minimum coupon percentage you can add is 5%. And what a 5% coupon does is, because repricers do not detect coupons because it's not essentially a price drop, it's a coupon, it's a discount. So if you're running a 5% coupon, the other repricers for these other sellers on the listing, they won't detect the 5% coupon. So they will remain at the same price when yours is actually 5% cheaper. So it's a great way to kind of dominate some more of the buy box there for you. Hope that helps. Yeah, I agree. Dennis said definitely spend time with your family, Eric, because one day is the grave for everybody. I agree 100%. Yeah, Axel, man, it's super excited to have you on the team as well. So Axel just joined EsellersRI about, what, an hour or 2 ago? We had a phenomenal call this morning. I'm excited to have you on the team, Axel. Make sure you join the private Facebook group and register for the weekly calls. There's a ton of insight and knowledge in there. And then just start in the beginning with the program. Shameless plug from this guy. Glenn followed up with, is it possible to run a $1 million annual sales wholesale business in the US remotely with a warehouse? Is this common? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%, without a doubt. I just want to understand with a warehouse. So you're saying remotely, but so you're operating it probably from overseas as an international seller selling on the US market, but you have access to a warehouse. Absolutely. You can crush way more than $1 million in annual revenue. Yeah, Derek, I just hit everybody with the ASD prep. Amazon jumped on the listing and Before I get to that, Glenn said, yeah, I'm in Canada. I want my warehouse in the US. Yes, Glenn, absolutely. 100%. I work exclusively with some of our inner circle members who are in Canada. They're doing a couple 100,000 a month in Canada and also a couple 100,000 a month on US markets as well. So there's opportunity in both. Mimo Yildiz said, who I also believe is EsellersRI guy, which I love. No, Brain Workshop guy. Amazon jumped in the listing and dropped the price and don't give anybody the buy box. Amazon, any recommendations on how to handle that? Yeah, so you got to see how much inventory they have. That's what so many people miss in this Amazon game. It's like, it doesn't matter if the price drops. And something we were just talking about in our private Facebook group today was life cycles of products, right? So if you expand and keep a chart from the creation of a listing, you'll see that these products have life cycles. The price fluctuates up and down, up and down. You might be selling it at a time where it's in its down life cycle. It's okay. If Amazon jumps on the listing, you got to analyze how much inventory they have. If they have, let's say 5,000 units in stock and the listing's only selling 1,000 units a month, then they essentially have 5 months of inventory. I am not willing to wait 5 months to get cash return on my investment for that product. So I will drop the price and even go lower than Amazon, hoping that they don't match the price to still dominate the buy box, to liquidate the inventory and get that cash back to reinvest. Because the amount of times you could flip that inventory, that cash for that inventory over the course of 5 months, you could easily flip it, 4 to 5 times, no problem. But if it's just sitting in Amazon collecting dust, it's not making you money. And money that doesn't make you money is not working for you. It's working against you. So I encourage you, analyze the competition on those listings and see what the deal is. Now if Amazon only has 100 units in stock and the listing selling 1,000 units a month, that means they only have about 3 or 4 days worth of inventory. Do you ship products overseas or just from U.S. suppliers? So we have a few private label brands. Most of them we get manufactured right here in the U.S. for ease of growth and supplier relationships or manufacturer relationships. But we do still have 1 or 2 products that we get over from China. And we do ship, I think maybe every 5 or 6 months, we get a new shipment of our private label goods. And they've been selling consistently for 4 or 5 years now. Nothing huge revenue, $20,000, $30,000 a month. So nothing massive, but it's a little higher margins, very, very good reviews on the products. So we just keep them going. Glenn, EsellersRI, hundreds. Inner Circle, we got about 35, 40 businesses, Glenn. And I love, based on where your sales are, to get you on the team, 100%. Yeah, there's sellers who only use prep centers doing wholesale. Absolutely. A lot of the sellers in our community, for example, are international, so they don't have access to a warehouse, so they leverage prep. It's a lot, Dennis. It's not quite that high, but it's a nice chunk of change. I don't know in Miami where it is. Somewhere in Miami. Got to reach out to Rower the Roamer. I'm pretty sure the event sold out though. It's Miami Sellers Conference. Yeah, we have a full-time repricing staff. Yeah, I'm impressed by them as well, Daisy. So Daisy just referenced, what's her name? Steph and Gerard, I believe, are their names. Definitely Stephanie. I hope I'm not mistaken, Gerard. I think it's Gerard or Gerardo. But she said, I'm very impressed with the couple in your program because they don't speak any English at all, and they're well. And so to talk a little bit about them, they have a language barrier. They don't speak English, and they understand very little English. And they joined EsellersRI, and they're now crushing $100,000 months. And when they first joined, they were in the low thousands. So they've implemented the infrastructure. They had to pay up a little to get a friend to help them translate the information. But like when I see people like that, thanks for bringing that up, Daisy, because when I see people like that, it means to me, all your excuses, whatever you're telling yourself why you can't grow your business, is absolute bullshit, right? So just put that shit to the side. It's not serving you, right? If a couple can literally join when they're doing a couple $1,000s a month and then build their business to $100,000 a month, and they don't even speak English, and they joined our community and they're learning from it, your excuse is null and void. I don't want to hear it, right? You're talking to the wrong person if you got excuses, because I don't entertain excuses. I entertain action, progress. That's what got me to the level that I'm at, and that's what will continue to allow us to level up. Romer, yeah, pumped to see you, man. I'm not doing the yacht. I'm passing on the yacht, man. A, I got to go to Vegas like 2 days later. And B, you guys got to send a bigger check if you want me to go on the yacht. When in Miami, I'll be there that weekend too, the 17th, 18th. Yeah, so many opportunities. What software do you use to scan through your wholesale suppliers, catalogs in bulk, fast, not manually? So we've actually built our own. It's called Source Correct right now. It's only available to Inner Circle members. But what we use for years and we recommend to our community is Scan Unlimited. And I believe we offer like a month or two or free or some discounts and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so you definitely want to have a UPC scraper. Keep in mind, most people rely too much on their UPC scrapers, and it does them a huge disservice, right? Because you're waiting for a software to spit out results instead of putting in the manual effort to do some additional research on these products. And I guarantee you're missing out on opportunities. So a little backstory, Sebastian just spent a week in Colombia with one of our Inner Circle members, helping them train. They have about 40 or 50 virtual assistants down there. And just to put into perspective how efficient our business is and how inefficient most businesses is, their 40 to 50 virtual assistants purchase the same amount of inventory that one of my buyers buys. One person. I have one person on my team that purchases the same amount of inventory that 40 or 50 virtual assistants purchase, right? So the purpose of them joining the Inner Circle was to increase their businesses, and Sebastian flew out there and spent some time with them and helped them optimize their processes. How much does it cost to Amazon to prep your stuff, and how do you find the full? I answered that already. Oh, I didn't know Amazon offers bundling. I'd have to confirm that too before you never know what people are talking about in here. About how many sales per month do you recommend to generate 100K a month in profit? About $1 million. $1 million. Give or take $100,000. Figure net. You're looking at the bigger you grow your business, the harder it is to keep higher net margins. But the bigger you grow your business, the more revenue you have. So losing a percentage or two on net margins doesn't really affect you because the volume supports the profits, right? It's all about profit dollars. Most people are so focused on what's your margin, what's your ROI. It's like, no, how much money's going into your pocket? Let's talk about that. How much are you putting in your pocket? And then to follow up with that, how much are you keeping from the government, right? By leveraging some tax write-offs and investing in some real estate, putting your money to work for you instead of work against you. It's one of my main focuses in 2023. I got a couple 100K that I'm going to dump into some real estate and really get scaling here, because I'm getting murdered on the tax game. Getting murdered. Spent a few $100,000 in taxes last year. Killed me. Yeah, and figure two, cost of goods for a typical wholesale business is about 42% of your sales, 40 to 45. I call it 42 because it lands right in the middle. But you figure in order to do $100,000 in monthly sales, you're going to have to invest between $40 and $45,000 in inventory. Yeah, so Bree said, do I have any advice on getting into the dangerous goods program? I've been waiting on the wait list for years. So no, I don't have any advice. Unfortunately, it's just a waiting game. What you can do is check on your application status. If you search hazmat in the search bar of Seller Central, there's an option. One is enroll, and the one under it is check the status of your application. So you can see the status of your application. Average margins wholesale 15, 22, between 15 and 22%. Advantages of having a warehouse, quality control. You get to control the process. You get to fine tune your systems to lower your production cost per ASIN, which we call your PCPA. And you get to open more wholesale accounts because some companies will only ship to commercial addresses. You get to train a team. There's a lot of upside, but in the beginning, it's not required. Yeah, I would not be selling washing machines on Amazon. Not a good idea. Only because the fees are going to be crazy. And one of my buyers actually made a mistake the other day when you're researching oversized products. A lot of times the FBA fees are inaccurate because nobody ever sent the product FBA. So what they did was, I don't know how big those drums are. I think they're 80-gallon drums. One of my buyers bought like 5 or 6 80-gallon drums, weighed over 400 pounds. For FBA, they were like a couple $100 each, and it was just a nightmare. Now we had to create a disposal order. It cost us $2,500 to dispose of it because it wasn't selling, because he made a mistake on the purchase, and it was just a nightmare to deal with. A nightmare. Yeah, you could sell any hazmat products through FBM as long as you're shipping them properly. I'm really struggling to change your viewpoint from looking at ROI to profit margin. What perspective can you give me? All right, so when a company at the end of the year, you sit down with your accountant and your business partners and you're reviewing the growth of your business, you're not talking about ROI, right? Nobody's saying, oh, we invested this much and we made this much. No, it's like, what's your margins? What type of money did you make? Because margin's a basic percentage. So if you operated at a 10% net margin, you did $1 million in sales, you made $100,000. So understanding your gross margin as well as your net margin, and then the difference between the two is deducting your production cost per ASIN. That will give you a lot of transparency into your business. So we have a great video right here on YouTube explaining that, so you can kind of learn how to do it. And I suggest you spend the time to watch it. It's maybe a 25-minute video, but it could potentially change your whole operation, because after working with thousands of Amazon companies, hundreds of them have no idea about their numbers, and they're doing their business a huge disservice by doing so. No, I do not sell wholesale products to the public. No problem, Emery. For all those who don't know, this is what Dennis just said. For all those who don't know, I've been selling on Amazon for 7 years. Bought Eric's course 6 months ago just to sharpen my skills. Could definitely say best course in the biz. Appreciate you, man. And what'd you just say? You're doing 7 million a year, 5 to 7 million a year in the UK. So, and at the end of the day, a lot of people, they join just for that, right? Because all it takes is one nugget of information to change the game for you. I just posted on Instagram yesterday. I just spent $10,000 for a one-day mastermind. I guarantee you I'm going to receive, at least at minimum a 10x return on that investment in a short period of time. Probably closer to 40 or 50x once I implement the strategies I learned. So it's like most people aren't willing to invest in themselves. About, what was this, maybe a year ago, I invested in a very high level mentoring program for myself. And, it was close to $100,000 to join. And within the first phone call, I got my $100,000 worth of value. The person who's mentoring program it was, and there's like annual events and in-person things and private community access and all this. But if I didn't get any of that, and that person, when they hung up that first hour phone call, I never talked to any of them again. I felt like I got my value in 60 minutes for nearly $100,000 investment, right? So sometimes it's just about knowing the who, right, instead of the how. So most people don't know the how. Find the who. I'm the who for Amazon Wholesale. Yeah, we got a lot of people who are 100% prep center in our community. What is your opinion on aerosols with Amazon? I like them. Any is maximizing my sales with aerosols and nervous there could be issues with shipping. No, as long as you're putting the proper labels, little triangles on the shipping boxes, you're fine. Yeah, a couple dozen sellers in Canada. Do I think Helium 10 and Seller Amp have accurate inventory counts? I don't use either of them, so I would have no idea. Yeah, do Amazon sellers on Amazon have exit opportunities? Absolutely. So right before COVID, we actually got an offer for multiple millions of dollars to buy our wholesale business. Thank God we passed, because once COVID hit, our business literally 4x'd over those 2 years. We went from averaging like 20 million a year to now we're pumping out 60 plus million a year. So I'm so grateful we didn't sell at that time. But yeah, what a company would be purchasing when they buy a wholesale business is your relationships and your systems and processes, right? Nobody's looking to buy a wholesale business that has no infrastructure. There's no value. It's essentially just a side hustle at that point, right? You got to treat it like a business, building out systems, having teams, having a hierarchy, management, right? Building and growing those relationships, harvesting them through going through trade shows and having those processes, because that's what somebody's going to invest in. Yeah, I've considered that, Glenn. Some crypto miners, but they're tax deductible if done correctly and you reap the benefits. I consider it just nothing that's really on my radar. I thought about it, but didn't really do much diving into it. What is your strategy when it comes to sellers who do not match lowest price but insist on lowering it by 1 cent? I usually let them sell out. Right? It's an inefficient business model. They're going to fail in the long run at that rate. So I usually just let them sell out, drive their price to the bottom, do what they do. They'll disappear, and most likely in 6 to 12 months they won't even be an existing Amazon business anymore. Yeah, so it's possible for a listing to have multiple UPCs. You usually see it in international listings, but sometimes you'll see it on Amazon as well. And all those listing UPCs are connected to the product. Nate just said, do you just finish up creating a spreadsheet for all the ASD suppliers? I love it. That guy's going in there with a mission. He's going to crush. Do you recommend looking to any of the private label brands going? So unless you're trying to private label something, no, there's no need to. I always like to explore it, and we give the rundown in our walkthrough of like where you should be allocating most of your time, but I encourage you, if you're going to ASD and you're investing in the experience, like go explore the rest of the show. Just don't allocate a large percentage of your time to it, right? It can't hurt to go talk to some of the private label companies and just see what type of opportunities are out there. Anything that's going to increase this is good for you. Yeah, definitely don't buy more products than what's selling on Amazon. No, I don't know any good prep centers in Florida. I'm sure my group does, but I don't know any off the top of my head. About 10%, Michael. Net profits. Let's see. Yeah, it covers in detail how to create an LLC. And if you're from outside of the United States, we have literally dozens of sellers who are international, and we'll be happy to help you walk through the process of registering an LLC in the country. Yeah, Amazon doesn't offer brand bundling. That's what I thought, Jay. Tyler, what's up, bro? How you living? What's good, man? What's up, everybody? Baby, what's the story? I'm just seeing if we're on course to leave at 3. I mean, we can leave a little later because you said you want to go to the gym, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't need a new car. I'm just going to buy a car to write it off. It makes sense if I needed one, but I'm not going to buy a car. I don't need one. Yeah, sorry about getting my account deactivated. 4.5 mil. Thanks for updating me, Dennis. I don't worry because I navigate within the terms of service. And that's what we teach all of our members to do, right? Because any of that shady shit's just going to get you suspended. Sebastian has literally done over 200 account reinstatements in the past 18 months, 18 to 24 months. And most of them are for people who are trying to manipulate the system. That's not us. I didn't grow one of the largest wholesale businesses in the world by manipulating the system. I did it by navigating within it, not outside of it. So it's not a concern, deactivation. Most people usually start with RA. I'm thinking about starting wholesale off the bat. What's your advice? I listen. If you got the funds to support the wholesale orders, usually I suggest having between $2,000 and $5,000 to start. Absolutely. You know, most people start with RA because it's got a low barrier of entry. Anybody can go into a Walmart or Marshalls, a TJ Maxx, a Kroger, wherever you go in and buy something off the shelves. It's like it's very easy to do. So it has a low barrier of entry, low cost to entry, and it'll help you understand the fundamentals of Amazon. So can it hurt to do something like that? No, it can't. You know, but if your goal is to go all in, I suggest while you're doing that, buying a couple products here, a couple products here to understand the process of selling on Amazon, building relationships with wholesalers. Yeah, Jam. So when we do release Source Correct, right now it's available to Inner Circle members. Then second access would be EsellersRI, and then be released to the public. I don't have a timeline for you. You know, my main goal here is to always focus on the community first, right? The community, that the people who pay me. You know, that's who we help first. And it trickles down. It's Inner Circle, EsellersRI, and then the public. And what I do is every Sunday I jump on these phone calls to deliver tons of information to help you all grow your businesses. So I don't have a timeline for Source Correct releasing. That's more Sebastian's ballpark. But what it does is going to change a lot of people's lives. Can you send in an SDS sheet, which is a safety data sheet to sell some hazmat products on FBA, even when you're not in the hazmat program? The only thing you could do is submit the MSDS material safety data sheet to try to get it classified as a non-hazmat product. But as long as that product is classified as a hazmat, you cannot send it to FBA if you are not part of the hazmat program. I have a phenomenal video on how to fill out that form to submit it to potentially get it removed from a hazmat if you don't think it is a hazmat and it's possibly classified it correctly. So you can just pop in, I think just search Amazon Lit Hazmat or Amazon Lit SDS, and it'll pop in to show you how to fill out the form, what information you need, how to submit it to Amazon, and then you can take it from there. How much advertising did you do in 2022? So let me give you some real metrics here. Let's pull up Seller Central advertising. Let's go to Campaign Manager. It's going to be low. I'm going to say it's $100,000. Maybe not even. It's actually, yeah, it's probably like 100K. Let's see though. Let's do campaigns. Amazon ads. While I'm pulling this up, I appreciate all your patience. Campaign manager. Okay, let me change the date. Let's do, I guess we'll do lifetime. Lifetime's not going to be helpful. Lifetime is not helpful. Let's do date range. So 12 times 12, about $140,000. Did 63 million. Do you use ads only to clear old stock? How do you deal with the fact others could benefit if they win the buy box? So nobody could benefit from your ads. Your ads are only shown if you have the buy box. So if you own the buy box, your ads are shown. If you don't, it doesn't matter. And we use advertising to increase sales, to move out old stock. Yeah, you don't need a warehouse for FBA. All right, we're going to answer a few more questions here, and then I'm going to break out. I got to get in the shower, head to my parents. What's your thought on Amazon fees keep increasing? Do you believe in doing a lot of ads is good? I mean, if you own a private label brand, you have to run ads, right? It's how you stay competitive. I'm not worried about the fees increasing because when the fees increase, the prices on Amazon increase. So it's not a concern for me. What are some of your repricing strategies? Some people raise price during the night and keep the buy box up. I let my repricer manage repricing. I set a floor and a ceiling, and I let the repricer work its magic. Right? That's why I pay for the service. But once in a while, you got to jump in and do some manual. And I do like the night creeping, which is what you're referencing, Glenn, where in the evening, or a lot of repricers will increase the price subtly to try to get the buy box higher for when sales really start to happen in the day, right? Because there's a schedule on Amazon. So as far as East Coast time goes, most of our sales happen between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. at night, right? From about 1 a.m. to like 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning, sales decrease drastically, right? So that's another thing to consider when you're looking at buy box statistics, because I've analyzed sellers against each other before. My sales and some of our member sales, we've been on phone calls and we said, hey, we're selling the same product. Let's look at the numbers, and we'll look at buy box statistics in Keepa. And let's say I get 30% of the buy box, they get 50%, but I'm selling double the amount of inventory they're selling, right? But I have 20% less buy box share than they have. What that tells me is Amazon's allocating the buy box to them in off shopping hours, right? So even if you're winning 50% of the buy box, but your 50% of the buy box is in off shopping hours, which in the US is from, midnight to early in the morning, then you're actually getting less sales than someone who's winning the buy box a lower percentage of the time at the peak shopping hours. Yeah, Mike, I think I sent you an email. Let me double check on that. I appreciate you bumping it up, brother. Let me just take a note down here. Follow up with Mike. Let me actually put it on. I'm writing it on my tablet. I'm going to put it on here. Follow up with Mike. I'll follow up, man. We'll be able to jump on a call. I'll send you a link to my calendar. All right, Mike? Happy Sunday. All right. This is fun. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to send you that email in 5 minutes, Mike. I'm going to pop in and get it over right now. All right. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. This is amazing. I love spending my Sundays with you. I love learning about your businesses, helping you grow, helping you thrive. My goal is to help you reach financial freedom, right? That's the name of the game for me. And any way I can assist doing that, I love providing the insights to help. So, Amazon's absolutely changed my life, revolutionized my life, as well as my family's life. Something I'd like to share with all of you is about 8 years ago, I was living out of a car. Once in a while, Sebastian would let me sleep on his couch. My parents had nothing to do with me. I was a taker. I wasn't a giver. And I sucked people's energy out of them when I was around them. And now I've completely shifted my entire life. And for ASD, I'm flying my entire family out first class. Hotels rooms and events we're going to go to, dinners. I gave my cash, credit card, they don't have to worry about anything, right? And 8 years ago, that's all I wanted. So I try not to forget where I came from, because where I came from allowed me to changed my life, because without that very, very low point that I've experienced, I'd never be able to see the highs that I have now. So I'm grateful for the lows, super grateful for the lows. The lows provide the highs. And still in life today, there's peaks and valleys and ups and downs, so you just got to roll with them. But I guarantee you, you will experience what you're looking to experience if you do not quit before the miracle happens. Most people quit when they're right around from turning the corner. You got to put in the sweat equity. I tell people all the time, give yourself a year. That's what Sebastian told me when I first started. Give yourself a year, Eric. If you're not happy, you can go back to sleeping on people's couches, living out of your car, being a fucking bum. And I gave myself a year, and it absolutely changed my life. Yeah, Amazon could literally change your life mentally and financially. Not exaggerating. Absolutely, Mike. All right, my friends, appreciate you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay grateful, stay lit, and make some time, shave some time out of your day to spend it with your loved ones. Talk soon.